Hey, I'm Brian. I'm one of the co-founders of Ralph.
And I'm Fatu, the other co-founder of Ralph.
And at Ralph, we have helped over 150 candidates negotiate job offers in tech and quant finance and some biotech. We've brought back over $5 million to candidates through helping them with their offer negotiations and have negotiated over $40 million total in contract value.
Yes, and the goal of these videos is to educate and show you what's happening in real life when candidates are negotiating with these big tech companies, but also, like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, but also with the startups, for example, Instacart, and even smaller ones that you haven't heard of. And we want to share the strategies that recruiters use and what they are doing and how you approach them when you're negotiating, right? And we'll also share what the appropriate strategies really are and what you need to do to be able to get a more fair offer.
Yeah. And so for us in advising, hundreds of offer negotiations, we've experienced some pretty surprising situations. Fatih, you remember that one company that paid an employee below the salary band, and then when the employee quit after finding out, the company ended up giving that employee $40,000 in severance to sign an NDA to not basically disclose that this occurred. And she had only been working at the company for a month.
Yeah, and that was like a very tough story because she really, really cared about this company. She thought that she was going to stay there for a few years, and this was her passion. And she was also from a underrepresented group, Black woman, and just felt, really disappointed by that experience. So we just thought this is important, sharing these stories so that candidates know what to expect, and even very surprising situations are no longer a surprise. In these videos, we do want to share the way that recruiters communicate and some of the situations that are uncomfortable that they will put you in. But then we also want to show the mistakes that candidates are making on their side. And the thing is, you don't have the same negotiation experience that recruiters do. They do this role um, every day, and they do it if hundreds, if not thousands, of times over the course of their career. So they're really experts at this. And then you, the candidate, on the other side, on the other hand, you don't have experience, right? Maybe you've done one or two negotiations maximum, and so in your entire career, you maybe do one per year or something. So you will never be as experienced as a recruiter is. And then you see that companies have HR teams, they have finance teams, they have compensation analysts, they have lots of resources and people who can support the company, the business side, on the of a negotiation process, right? But you, the candidate, what are the resources that you have? And this decision, these numbers, they are very consequential for your life, right? And so is it realistic to expect the same level of know-how if you're doing it on your own, or if you are left to your own devices? It's just a lot of asymmetry, and it's not a, it's a system that is biased against you.
Yeah, and so as we'll show in the following videos, a recruiter's negotiation expertise, it really comes from his or her ability to collect information from you and not share any information in return. And they'll use specific words and strategies throughout, even as early as the interview process or as you're applying to companies until you accept or decline an offer. And recruiters are so good, or maybe candidates are just so inexperienced that most candidates don't even know when they're being out negotiated. And so, what I hope is that our experience and stories shared in these videos makes you aware of really how recruiters negotiate. The videos will break down the offer negotiation into three stages. First, the interview stage, second, the offer stage, and then third, the closing stage. And then within each stage, there are many different strategies that companies and recruiters will employ that you should be aware of to empower yourself. And so we'll be sharing videos within each stage that share negotiation situations and insights that will help you.
Yes. And we really hope that by watching these videos, what you're gaining is awareness on the process, on the stories, the different situations that might happen, and that you really inform yourself. And hopefully, this helps you achieve your goals, be more successful in the negotiation, and achieve fair compensation. And if you would like to learn more, we also recommend that you check out our blog so that you can read even more stories and you can get more insights.